Hello class! Welcome to Riot University, and today pag-uusapan natin yung 8 books that I read in February and why you should read them too. Because reading makes you hot. Repeat after me, reading makes you hot. Alam niyo, it's my favorite reading month ko tong February kasi wala talagang patapon dito sa lahat ng binasa ko, as in walang bumaba naman sa 3 stars, and lahat sila worth it basahin. Kaya mag-start na tayo. Mag-start tayo sa only romance na I read this month, which is E.M. Forster's A Room with a View. And oh boy! Hindi kasi ako mahilig sa modern romances. I'm sorry. Yes, you can have your Emily Henry to yourselves, but I just don't like modern romances that much. I like a classic literature. I like me some classic slow burn literature romance talaga. Yung talagang kahit touch lang ng fingers ay kikiligin ako, ganyan. Gusto ko kasi yung yung mga parang pinaghihirapan na mga romantic interactions, ganyan. Kaya I love old style Victorian era romances. And ito kasing E.M. Forster's A Room with a View is... Okay, so this book is about Lucy traveling to Italy, Florence, Italy yata, I think. Alam niya na, yung mga gawaing mayaman, ganyan. So, nakilala niya dito sa trip na to yung Emersons. Emersons being yung tatay ni George Emerson, and of course, George Emerson himself, which is our main lead. Si Lucy kasi sheltered most of her life. And I think mostly talaga yung mga babae dun sa era nila, laging, alam niyo na, laging kinukulong, ganyan, or something. Kaya may parang silang rebellious laging spirit. And si Lucy, of course, being sheltered, meron din siyang ganun. So, isang araw, nagkaroon siya ng urge maging rebellious. And rebellious being lumabas ng hotel niyang mag-isa and mag-explore ng sarili niyang mag-isa. Kasi I think, parang big deal na yata yung ganun. And dahil sa solo trip na yon, na-encounter niya si George Emerson again. And they talk, and dahil sa interaction na to, they can never go back to the way they used to be. Ang feeling. Actually, may live reaction video ako when reading this book. And ewan ko, sobrang kinikilig naman ako kasi may isang scene dito sa book na to, maintindihan nyo when you read this book is inaano ni George Emerson na parang, respeto ko na may sarili kang choice, ganito ganyan. Kasi during this time, parang tinatrato yung girls or yung woman na hindi sila pwedeng mag-make ng decisions or in their own choices. They just see them as wala lang, side piece, ganun. And grabe, yung si George Emerson is the man. Kasi grabe yung mga ginagawa niya dito sa book na to. As in, sobrang papakanta ng I'm a fireman, a man. Kasi sobrang bossy motherfucker naman so much. Ayoko kasi ng yung iba kasing may iba kasi mga Victorian era na parang kahit yung lalaki parang sobrang shy type, ganyan, yung parang hindi masyadong, alam mo yun, hindi masyadong nag-urge or nagsisimula ng mga romantic interactions. Pero ito talaga, si George Emerson talaga, nangunguna talaga sa balota. So parang, okay, you're on the list. I think this is a short read. Para sa akin I think this is only 196 pages. So, kayang-kaya nyo yan. Moving on to another romance, I guess, for me, a tragic romance book, and that is James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. I think you've been hearing about James Baldwin. So, what is Giovanni's Room about? This is about David ba to? Si David ba yan? Ayan, si David nga. So, this is about David who goes to a vacation, mini vacation din, mga gawain mayaman, sa Paris. And there, he meets Giovanni, another man named Giovanni. So, unang-una kasi, parang evident agad sa first part ng libro na parang minsan meron na talaga siyang issue sa sexuality niya, ganyan. But then, nung nakilala niya si Giovanni, yun talagang burst out na siya, talagang wah, gumana na siya. Kasi parang I feel like si Giovanni, yung trigger talaga sa kanya, yung sa pagde-deny niya ng sexuality niya, and yung shame is a big part of this book. Like, you're dealing with self-denial and yung shame that comes with it. Nakakainis si David throughout the book, but I think that was James Baldwin's intention kasi gusto niyang iparamdam talaga din yung same frustration ni David. Dahil hindi din niya alam kung saan siya pupunta. Like, ipupush ba niya yung own self niya na talagang magiging ganito na siya versus yung traditional. Yung Giovanni's Room itself, yung title is, parang ito yung safe space niya at the same time. Ito din yung space na nagpaparemind sa kanya ng gunong triggers sa kanya na shame. And I love James Baldwin's writing. Feel ko after niya talagang book na to, talagang gusto ko magbasa ng iba niyang books kasi yung writing niya, ibang klase talaga, ibang level naman so much. Pero at the same time, hindi siya too flowery and hindi din siya too like complicated basahin. Pero at the same time, ibang complexity ng paggamit niya ng normal writing or I guess yung prose. Tama ba yung pronunciation ko? Prose, sasabi nila. So, para sa akin, James Baldwin dito sa book na to, beginner-ish, middle-ish writing na kayang-kaya nyo naman basahin yan. Highly recommend if you want a not so romantic type of love story but a tragic love story, and if you want to feel something, talaga naman makaka-feel kayo basta si James Baldwin yan. So, next! Isa sa mga libro na hindi ko alam kung mahirap ba siyang basahin or baliw lang ako kasi Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Tama ba? Hindi ko alam actually. This is a very, very, very spiraling ride. Para kang may tinira dito or something kapag binabasa mo tong libro na to, or I don't know kung anong psychedelic ang nangyayari dito. At tong libro na to is what happens when a devil visits Russia for a vacation. Wala lang, trip lang niya para lang ma-remind yung mga tao na oops, mali ang ginagawa mo, paglalaroan kita. So throughout this book, parang tinatest niya yung morality or parang actually hindi tinatest talagang pinaparusaan niya talaga yung mga tao na not so good on a good side. Like yung mga corrupt, ganyan. And I think this has one of my favorite opening chapters sa novel kasi yung opening lang niya kasi sobrang na mindfuck ako sa opening na chapter nito kasi nagulat ako na ano nangyayari kasi bigla ka na lang sinampal nung author kung anong mangyayari throughout this book, which is yung talagang out of this world and hindi makatotohanan talaga na nangyayari. Kasi may mga novel na parang devil disguise ganyan, pero at the same time, hindi nila masyadong ino-obvious na si devil yan, ganyan, chuchuchuchu. So, dito talaga, as in, hindi nila hinahide yung fact na ang daming mga magical realism na nangyayari dito. I don't recommend this book to people who just started reading classics kasi Russian literature to, and lahat ng Russian literature, I think, known na hindi sila talaga for beginner friendly kasi sobrang daming pangalan sa isang tao. As in, meron pa sila 3 nickname, ganyan. Tapos minsan tinatawag ng author yung isang tao sa surname na ganun. So, hindi siya talagang beginner friendly yung mga Russian literatures. But this one, I feel like nagdagdag din yung factor na medyo magical realism siya, so hindi mo masyado siya maintindihan agad in the first place kasi hindi ko alam kung yung translation lang ba mismo or si mismong Mikhail na yung medyo hindi klaro yung mga nangyayari or I don't know kasi minsan may mga chapter dito na feel ko hindi din necessary or parang dapat hindi mo na in-include yan kasi wala namang kwenta. But anyway, still a classic and I think a lot of people, but anyways, it's still a very great classic and in my opinion, sa akin, medyo under-hype siya. Kasi, of course, yung 3 big 3, si Dostoyevsky, si Kafka, si Orwell, yung mga ganyan. Yung mga top 5, ganun. And I feel like big part din na hindi siya hina-hype kasi medyo mahirap siya and wala siguro masyadong nagka-touch sa book na to. Kung hindi yung mga talagang kaya siyang i-challenge talaga naman so much. Still, it's still a ride. And ang ganda nung imagination ni Mikhail. As in, kapag binabasa mo siya, parang may isip mo na pa, grabe, may gantong imagination ng isang tao. So, grabe, this was a ride. Even though may mga, hindi siya perfect, pero it's still an enjoyable ride. And I feel like every classic fan or literature fan should read at least this once in their life. Okay, next. My first Clarice Inspector is Agua Viva and ito, ngayong month ko siya sinimulan and ewan ko, parang feel ko, hindi ko sure kung ngayon lang ba siya nagkaka-resurgence si Clarice Lispector o last year ba, ganyan. Pero to me, I think hindi siya ganun kanon kasi nga, sa akin kasi, syempre, I'm used to the authors na accessible sa atin dito sa Pinas, which is yung mga super sikat, kaya hindi tayo masyado exposed sa mga underrated authors or underhyped authors. But I digress. Yes! Nakuha ko na din. Nagamit ko na din yung phrase na yun sa sentence. Anyways, yung Agua Viva, it's not for everybody. It aims to capture the essence of like yung present. It's more on existentialism and hindi kasi siya novel. And I think ano ba to? Parang essay-ish type na parang poetry ganyan. And I feel like you'll understand once you read this book. Pero I do not recommend this to someone who doesn't really want to read na hindi story-based-ish na book. And I'm not limiting you naman though na hindi siya basahin kasi it's still a good book. Clarice Lispector is known for her writing like poetry, ganon. Plus it's only 80 pages. So why not i-try nyo kung gusto nyo, diba? Kasi ang dami ko nakuha dito na lines na talagang talagang hinihit ka where it hurts, ganun. Pero ngayon, mas excited ako basahin yung isa niyang book which is, I think, Near to the Heart yata yun. Hindi ko sure kung novel na ba talaga yun kasi I just started with Agua Viva as an entry to her work. I don't know if it's actually a good entry to her work pero para sa akin, nagka-interest naman ako sa kanya after reading this book, so it's fine. Next, The Door by Magda Zabo. And oh boy, this book, I feel like hindi lahat makaka-appreciate ng book na to. Kapag beginner pero yung mga literature fans will love this as in kasi it's about a writer and then nag-hire siya ng housekeeper nila kasi parang nag-move in sila sa neighborhood, ganyan, bagong bahay, tapos nirecommend ng mga neighbor nila yung si Emerence, which is an older woman na housekeeper and then around the neighborhood, ganyan, as in katiwala-tiwala talaga siya, ganun. At first, yung feelings ko dito at first, kasi yung mga first part ng book, parang hindi ko maintindihan as someone siguro na may parang hindi ako masyadong open sa mga stranger or hindi ako masyadong ma-close pag hindi ko talaga kakilala, ganyan. So, parang medyo na-weirdohan ako sa dynamic nila and I feel like sa una hindi mo talaga maiintindihan kasi that's the essence of a relationship minsan na may mga relationship talaga na parang bigla na lang nangyayari without you even knowing na parang attached ka na pala sa kanya, ganun. Tapos may mga certain feelings ka na parang gusto mo ng acknowledgement sa kanya, gusto mo ng hindi siya na-disappoint, ganun. This book is one of my favorite books na yung nagpa-portray ng relationship and not in a romantic way. So, bihira kasi for me parang medyo hindi masyadong common yung topic na gano'n na yung relationship about a platonic relationship, yung hindi kayo magkaano-ano, hindi kayo magjowa, pero you literally like a stranger and a friend, I guess, but not in a, alam nyo na yung friend na way na ka-age mo, ganyan. Kasi nga, ang weird ng dynamic na, diba? Housekeeper and then yung employer niya. So, magkakaroon talaga ng minsan din ng power imbalance. Pero in this case, walang ganun. Kasi actually, may mas upper hand pa nga si Emerence, yung housekeeper niya. And ang ganda nung pagka-portray throughout the book yung relationship nila about the trust, yung factor din kasi na si Emerence, hindi siya nagpapapasok ng bahay niya. As in, kaya feel ko yung title The Door kasi she never opens the door to her house. As in, wala nakakita ng house niya, wala nakakita sa loob. As in, never siya nagpapasok. Kung may papapasukin man siya sa, until ano lang niya, yung ano tawag doon? Yung entry port, as in, sa harap lang ng door, pero never walang nakakita ng loob ng bahay niya. And yun yung biggest, I guess, symbolism sa akin nga na parang yun din yung heart ni Emerence kapag pinapasok ka niya or pag nakita mo ng loob. I feel like talagang yun na yung pinagkakatiwalaan ka niya with her whole life. So, definitely one of my favorite reads this year kasi sobrang unique niya and sobrang ganda ng pag-explore ni Magda Zabo, and I've heard lots of good things about her works, kaya this is not gonna be my last, definitely, from her. My first, Joan Didion, which is Slouching Towards Bethlehem, and I feel like ang dami kong mga first ngayon na female authors. Ano ba naman? Ito naman, I have a very mixed feelings about this kasi, although okay naman yun kasi this is a compilation of her essays and it's divided into 3 parts yata. Yung first part's more on California yata, tapos second part's in personal essays, and then third, Again, mga essays niya, ganyan. I have a very short review about this kasi I am pretty sure kung ano yung nafe-feel ko sa kanya. I just like her personal essays more. As in, yun yung mas nag-resonate sa akin compared to her other compilation ng essays. I do love Goodbye to All That and then yung pinakaunang essay sa California essays niya. But the rest, I only like the personal essays like on self-respect. One of my all-time favorite essays now. And I think mag-change siya ng 20s ko kasi pag nalalost. Kapag naliligaw ka naman so much, pwede mo siyang basahin every single time. And I'm not really sure, pero I think you can read that essay, yung particular essay na yun ata sa online. Kasi may nabasa ako parang pinublish na firstly yun sa Vogue. Not sure though. I think you can just search On Self-Respect by Joan Didion. So, hindi ko sure kung mag-dive in ako sa fictions ni Joan. Kasi medyo hindi kami friends in terms of her other writing na hindi personally niyang experience. Pero I'm not really closing any doors for her kasi of course she's one of the most well-known right now na authors. Still, it doesn't take away the fact na she is a good writer. So, I think we will have different opinions about her, but that's my thing. So, next. Saving the Best for Last, which is John Steinbeck's East of Eden. This is a very strong contender sa atin for this year's book of the year naman so much. Although, feel ko magkakaroon lang tayong top 5 ganyan, pero this book change everything. Charot. After kong basahin tong libro na to, as in, I could finally say na I will never be the same person talaga after reading this book. And hindi ako ooya. This is how you make a classic literature, y'all. This is a family saga and this revolves around two families, mainly around two families, which is yung Hamiltons and yung Trasks. And nagkakaroon kasi sila ng intertwined fate. Na throughout the book, talaga makita nyo talaga kung paano nag-intertwine yung dalawang family na yon. And basically, this is a retelling of the book of Genesis and yung mostly yung Cain and Abel. And throughout that book, yun talaga yung topic na ini-imply ng author about yung ano ba yung evil, like innate evil, may choice ka ba na maging evil? Or may time ba na parang makakawala ka dun sa pattern nung Cain and Abel na parang yung isa laging mawawala sa landas tapos yung isa parang basta yung ganon. And I also really really love yung ibang biblical references or yung biblical takes ni John Steinbeck dito sa book na to. Like other than the Cain and Abel, like meron din yung parang itong character na to is parang feel ko definition ng the D, ganyan. There are a lot of references or nods to the Bible in this book kaya parang uy, teka lang, parang naalala ko yan parang nakita ko yan sa Bible parang are you referencing to a Bible, ganyan, chuchuchu. So, it was fun dissecting every chapter kasi minsan ang ginagawa ko kapag kunyari yung chapter is feel ko full of meaning, nagsesearch ako sa internet, sa Reddit mostly na ano yung mga thoughts nila, ganyan, and I feel like yun yung sobrang nakakatuwa din gawin whenever may mga ganito kahaba na literature kasi I think this is around 600 pages. So, syempre, gusto ko namnamin talaga tong libro na. And I feel like everybody should read this book at least once in their life. And hindi siya dahil para lang for the sake of reading it. Pero talaga maganda talaga siya. And kahit ganun siya kahaba, try nyo talaga siyang i-read kasi ang ganda niya. And at the same time, hindi din mahirap yung writing. So, very magandang prose. Yan, ganun. So, I Love You, East of Eden. Next. Ay, hindi pala next. Last na to. And that's it for our today's class. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know kung ano yung mga thoughts nyo and kung mai-slip pa yung ibang libro na to sa TBRs nyo, and definitely you should try at least one of these books. Talaga naman. It was a really good reading month, I think. As in, super quality lahat na nabasa ko. Walang tapo naman talaga. As in, hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe kayo and like and share. Goodbye.